There we are. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful start to your Monday. So, I just wanted to jump on here and share with you how the art event went at the Milton Artist Guild Saturday. Now, first, what I'd like to do is welcome everybody who has jumped on board since the last time we were live, and we haven't been live in a little while on YouTube. I have gone live over on TikTok. Some of you are on both platforms, so you probably saw me over there. And so here I am today. And I'm really excited to share with you how this went. But first, I want to welcome everyone who is new. We do create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And we do that as our contribution to giving the earth a little hug instead of going out and buying brand new fabrics, brand new this, brand new that. We try to stretch our imagination a little bit, and who better to do it than artists, right? So, anyway, I figure I'd jump on here quickly. And so I have my little basket here of things that we're going to go through that sold, some things that sold, they didn't sell, why, and this and that. But first, I just want to say that I totally rate this like a 10 plus, with 10, being most excellent. So it was coordinated. This was, first of all, let me explain. This was not a typical art and craft show that I was at. This was at a guild. It's a guild here in Vermont, and many, many artists are part of this guild. So it's called Milton Artist Guild. And from the outside of this store, of this guild, it looks small. It looks deceivingly small. You go inside and it's way deep. It's amazing and wide. So it's really hard to believe. It's like a little illusion going on there, but it's a really fun place. So it's typically people go in and they buy their art. So what the guild did is coordinate it so that some of us artists who wanted to could purchase or buy, paid for a little extra space. So then you had a little extra space, and the whole point of it was that you as an artist got to show other things that you make. So my table that is there at the guild, I wouldn't have wanted to just do more of what was on that table. I wanted to do things that were different and showcase my different talents, right? Such as the crochet and the other items I make with the Boro Sashiko. So that was something um that I think was extremely successful. And the only difference was that if a customer bought things on my added table, they would pay me directly. If they bought it from my other table that's already set up as part of the guild, they would just go up to the cash register. So that was one logistic that worked out really, really well. People totally understood it. So that made me super happy. Us artists were at our tables, and it gave them a chance to meet us. Now I stood at my table like all day. So I took a few very quick breaks, but grab a coffee because it's kind of getting a little spacey in the afternoon. But I was happy because the reason I chose to kind of stand and not sit, because I certainly could have gotten a chair. There were plenty of chairs, but I didn't. I wanted to stand because I wanted to engage with the customer at their level. So when you sit down, you have now removed yourself a little bit more from the customer. Now, other people can say, well, you're not as invasive in their space. I mean, that's another way to look at it. So you could sit kind of just ready to, help them out. But I spent the day, a lot of the day, explaining what Boro Sashiko Inspired was. And I was really, really happy to do it. So now, and then I'll talk to you about a few connections that I made. But first, I'm going to go over some of the things that sold. So, what sold? Now, at the other craft fair, we're going to do a little comparison, this and that. Oh, but first, I want to say, before we go too far, I do want to say that yes, the coordination of this event by the guild, everybody who worked there, the director, everybody was superb. It was superb. It was like, I used to have a saying when I did HR with the managers. I used to say, there is no over communication because you can't communicate enough. If somebody hears something differently and they need you to say it again, maybe a little different way or a way if they need to understand it, whatever. But you could see that there was definitely communication. There was coordination. There was a lot of hard work because, some people they were holding doors for people. They were putting up signs all day. I mean, that's a lot. I know that's a lot of work because that's what tires me out is that type of the physical running around, just getting ready for the guild and taking the stuff out, putting it in my car and out, and then setting it up, all that physical stuff, I get tired. And they're definitely doing that plus. So, yeah, so it was definitely a success, and I rate it excellent. And a big thank you to everybody there. So, because it makes such a big difference. Now, so what happened? Okay, so I'm going to go through a couple of things. Now, this is the doggy, one of the doggy bandanas. And one of the artists, coordinators, she does the tables beautifully. She goes, "We need to get a dog." And she's right, because I was thinking I was going to do that this week, like before I got there. And there it was, time was up, and I had no dog. And I was thinking of making one out of cardboard, but I had no time. And I couldn't run to the thrift shop. So yeah, I was against, but totally for display. So a lot of people really, really, really liked the bandanas. A few were gonna come back, but they didn't. But you know what? It doesn't matter because their intention of wanting one of these for their dog just told me everything I needed to know, that they liked the bandanas. And that's what I was trying to figure out. So none of these went, but that's okay. Like I said, now I'm going to put those aside for a minute. Um, you probably remember these from I had made these, excuse me, last year. These are the fingerless gloves. Now, people were trying these on. This is how they go. This is a simple granny square. Okay, that's all that is. Look how adorable it is, though. It's so cutesy. And you can adjust this. You put your thumb through any of these spaces that you feel is right for you, and you size the glove that way. So I sold a few of these, a few pairs of these. These are always popular, but what I really want to do with these is make them out of a lacy crochet. And I think then they'd be even a little bit more because then they'd be a little bit more decor. Or what do I want to say? A thinner yarn. Okay. So a couple of these went. Now I'm going to tell you what went. And these right here, these are my Boro Sashiko bracelets. And I should wear them because I have mine put away. Actually, I should take it out. But these, you have seen me make these, and I've made them with you. So they're all scrap fabrics, but people love these. And I had found out how popular these can be um, several years ago. Gosh, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 now, maybe. it could be almost 5 years ago now. I had uh given them to a thrift shop, not given them, the thrift shop paid me for these, like a flat amount, and then they sold them, and they sold them all. They people loved these. So they did too here at the Guild. Now, the other art and craft fair, nobody looked at them, picked them up, or had any like they just right over their head. So you never know. You never know. But now, so these went, and the other thing that went were my granny square hats. Okay. My granny square hats, and I'm going to show you what the other hats were that went. Now, mind you, I've been making hats for, oh, let's see, maybe 30 years, maybe more. Anyway, these hats, these I used to make a lot of these. So these are scrappy. Actually, the name I used to use was hodgepodge. These are hodgepodge. And if you look closely at this hat, you see a little ribbon. You might even see twine in here. Whoops, on the outside of it, not on the inside. So but you see all different textures, you see different widths, weights, colors, scrappy. So my scrappies went, I have these two left, and the granny square, all the granny square hats went. So those went. These, now a friend of mine, she had come up, she wanted some beanies, but she wanted my Boro Sashiko on the hat. So I did that for her. I did a heart, a Boro Sashiko. She loved it, loved it, loved it. So she wanted more, and she ordered a number. Now, the thing about this style is it takes me a long time because this is a tight, close. If you look at this, get this off here. You look at this here. It's in the back loop. It's a single crochet, and it's tight. It's tight. It's a small hook, and it takes forever to make just the band. So, and then the Boro Sashiko right here takes a long time too. Now, if I can whip through my hats and do my granny square and do my scrappies, then I can put a price on there that people can afford. And that's pretty much what I did. These kind of just regular beanies, you can get regular, solid color beanies. So they weren't too interested in these. They wanted something different. Now, this is something to keep in mind. People, and I'm like that too. If I do have, I'm walking through an art and craft or store, I'm looking for something different. So now I had also brought these, and you've seen these. These are the mini wall hangings, Boro Sashiko, just pretty raw that I did. This one I finished up that night. You didn't see. I had just thrown a backing onto it, really, but I love this one. Now, a lot of people picked this up, but people are not familiar with the Boro Sashiko, and they're all scrap. So, and this one is more, I like this. This is an ancient angel, and I do angels, I draw angels. So, but I don't get on here to draw because when I draw, I should absolutely, because a lot of my drawing time is my downtime. It's a complete relaxation and creative time for me. However, I've shared my drawings and paintings, but we'll draw on here too. So anyway, and this little bird you've seen, so I brought the little bird. I kind of wanted reactions. This one is just a simple independent stacking, kind of a holiday Christmassy type of design. And I just sewed that together with the sewing machine. And then this one you've seen is a hand sew. So how did these go? How were these received? People were looking at them. I did not put them at all at the price probably that they would be valued much higher, probably like a small painting. These definitely are unique, and you're just not going to find these around. But I kept them like half of that. I put them at like 15. So, but people were looking. Now, I want to share this with you. An artisan friend of mine who was right with me there, she, you notice the piece, one of the pieces I did was the one of my Boro inspired pieces. I don't know if she has the Kwandi or the Boro, um, because I did a number of them like that. And I grabbed one to bring with me. She wanted that one, which was amazing. And we did a trade. We talked and we did a trade. I want to show you what I got. And I want to give you the name of this lovely artist. So this is what I got. Look, check this out. So this is a real artist. Okay, this is a lady who's taught in the school system for years. So this is what's inside. And then down here, what do you show? And then here, it's saying it's what's inside that counts. So I'm totally all about that. Seriously. I sometimes don't even recognize a face of a person because I'm taking in the vibes. Seriously. If they're not good vibes, right, I'm taking a step back. What's inside counts. So what you think, this is a bit of psychology for you. What you think, you cannot hide. Your expression and your verbiage will expose you. So when we think love and kindness and goodness, and we want to be a part of things. It just shows. And it shows in your expression, it shows in your body language, it in your verbiage, how you are, right? So I love this. Now, you can find um this is the artist's name. Her name is D. Christie, and you can find her website. She has a landing page, and I went to it this morning, and she actually, which I didn't know, is she has a whole nother page where she's selling her work. So check it out, because she has all different positive, wonderful, reflective, meditative, beautiful sayings, prompts, cues, whatever you want. Mindfulness, it's mindfulness. So this is it, www.ddee, and then the name Christie, CHRISTIE, D Christie, and then the word art, ART, dchristieart.com. So you find all of her things there. So I'm going to put this up on the wall. I've kept it at my desk because I just really wanted to share. I just love this. This is not an original, it's a print. And I said, you got to do the originals, right? I mean, like in a book or something. So this is it's a print of an original. Okay. So that's lovely. So that happened. Then I had some fun with some other friend artists. They were kind of joking, playing around, and we got to laugh and this and that. So that was a lot of fun. That's how the day was going. Now they had okay, so let me put this down because I want to tell you what else I had there. Okay, so I had coffee cup cozies, and people were kind of looking at them, but they didn't buy them. They were not, these used to be very popular. Now, I think now I know this may be a little far fetched. However, people in Vermont are noticing how warm it is. I mean, I did have a sweater on like all morning because I was in and out. I was going outside, taking a little break, drinking my coffee. I kept my sweater on. But look, I have It's 58, 60 degrees today and raining. So, and when I go out, I'm going to put on a very thin raincoat. And I'll tell you something, this time of year, typically in Vermont, like 20 years ago, there's no way you could run up the street in a little coat without getting sick or really, really cold. So the weather is totally changing, which is why I think the coffee cup cozies were not like a grab, and put in the stocking type of gift. So the way I did my table, I had the yo-yo quilts. Oh, by the way, this is the big reveal. Not one yo-yo quilt went. And I think I know why this time. So, and some of you out there are going to say, I told you so. But this is what's happening. Some people are remembering what these are from their childhood. Their grandparents made them. They're remembering them with teeny tiny little yo-yos, teeny tiny yo-yos that take, a couple minutes to make. Boom, you're done. They do not remember them with a backing. So I had a few suggestions. One lady suggested that I make them a little longer so you can wrap it around you like a shawl. Now, if they're wrapped around like a shawl, we're not going to put the backing on. Definitely not putting the backing on. We may bring the size of the yo-yos down a little bit. And I'm trying to think of the other thing. It would need a tie. Somebody said put Velcro, so they're thinking of it being. Now, the thing of it is, though, these yo-yos with no backing are not going to be warm. They're not going to give any warmth. Really, they're not. With the backing, they give a warmth. So you got to kind of figure, do we just make them a little bigger and put a soft lining in them? I don't know. So it's definitely something to keep playing. And this is what I find in my art world. I really listen to people because from their perspective, they're not looking at it for like us artists are coming purely from a creative process, right? We're like so in to the aesthetics and the art and the method and just the, even sometimes honing right in on part of the work, not even looking at the rest of it and saying, wow, that's great. That's how I did my Boro Sashiko diversity piece. Each abstract figure I put there, I was just honed in right on that, right? I didn't even care what it looked like with the rest of the piece. I was just making these abstract figures. So that's part of an art. So when somebody comes along and they are not from my art world and they're looking at something and they say something like that, throw some Velcro on that and I can wrap it around me. I listen. Now, I know the logistics of how I'm making them would have to change for sure. Now, I happen to really, really adore the way they are. And I had one artist come up and she was able to look at it and say, yeah, she totally got it. Yeah, that could be a table piece. It could be, a wall piece. She totally got it. And it made perfect sense to her. And she's an artist. And we have this certain language we all speak. So anyway, so yeah, the yo-yo quilts, not one went. So it was mostly the hats and the Boro bracelets and the fingerless gloves. Now, I did sell some of my cards. Now, I made two different types of cards. And why I put myself in a pressure cooker the night before this event, I have not a clue. That's why you did not see me on YouTube. I sat literally for hours and hours and hours all day long making junk journal pages. I'm going to show them to you. Well, I'll show them to you the next video because they're packed away still. And I left some things packed because I need to go to another venue, and I want to be able to show her some things. But I'll get them out and I'll share them with you. So they were junk journal pages. So you can imagine my table. I had my paper out, my ribbon, foil paper, all my junk, all my paper off the shelf, the big pieces of Christmas paper, this type of paper, cardboard, paper bag paper, and my sewing machine because I was free forming sewing it together. So, anyway, I was super happy with the way they came out. I made some what I call ancient snowmen, and I loved it. They came out just adorable. So, part of what was happening, as you probably saw in the short video, is the spacing. And this is always a big deal if I try to bring a bunch of stuff. I totally had enough space, but I wasn't going to take my artwork and put it on my table that's established for the guild. So I kept it right where I was. So the junk journal cards had a little space. Now, my bird cards that I made of the Vermont birds that were on, at that time, endangered list or and beautiful exotic birds in Vermont, I did in all pen and ink. I didn't paint them. So they're in black and white. Some are on beige recycled paper and others are on the white recycled paper. Very plain. But I knew anybody who walked up and loves birds would get a kick out of it. And there were a few people who bought a few cards. So that was really nice. And I love my birds, as you know, and will probably make those cards. And I was telling an artist there, I need to what they call remake that set of cards and bring them more up to date. Maybe give them some color and just kind of do them a little bit more relaxed. I can remember the week that I made about 9 of them in a week. I was sitting at the kitchen table while my littlest ones were napping and my older one was in school. I was at the kitchen table drawing those birds. And I didn't have any art paper. I drew them literally on paper, like note paper. I like blank paper like this, different sizes, anything I could find. That's what I did. And then when I took them to the printer, they're like, "Yeah, we can do this. This is fine." And they made it work. They were very nice. Today, I don't know what I would do with all different sizes like that and make them one size. I probably would figure it out. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, I was very pleased with the whole setup. Now, there were probably somebody was counting and said there were about 1,000. And my take on it is there were more than 1,000. There were definitely more than 1,000. And the reason I say that is people were back to back from before they started counting, because they started at the everything was supposed to start at 10 and people were in there before 10, like a good amount of people. Not just 50 people, like a good amount. They were flowing in. Now, what made it successful is the shared communication between all of the other art venues that were going on, art events that were going on that day too. This is how it is, right? During the holidays, we have all these events around the same time. So people hop from one to another to another. So, and I think that's a lovely way to do shopping. I really do. Now, at this place, it also had coffee, which I was so ecstatic about because I brought my own coffee. Certain coffees, if they're too strong, I really do. I get a headache. Like my eyes hurt right away. I can't have this strong coffee. So I always bring my cup to the guild and a little container of cream, like I just put it in a plastic but they had coffee. So later in the afternoon, I totally needed it. I was kind of like glazing over. And I went, oh, another artist I want to talk to you about. So this is another artist. These two artists that I'm talking to you about, Dee Christie, I should ask, you have seen on my YouTube channel where at the Guild I've kind of like panned my camera onto a specific artist's booth. So these two artists, I'm going to ask if they want me to do that, and that way you can see their full display. But the other artist that was there, that was my neighbor. She did lovely resin, little heart resins that hang up. Adorable, right? Those were popping off the wall. So that is the name of that company, their company is Sparkle and Ice. And this is their website, www.sparkle, the word sparkle, S as in Sam, Parkle, and then the word A-N-D, and then the word ice, I-C-E, sparkleandice.com. A lovely, lovely artist and her partner. They were there and they did a wonderful, wonderful job. So, and yes, there were many, many more, and I could go on and on and on, but for the day and the time and, all that we were doing, there were a few of us that got to connect, so that was very nice. So, anyway, this week, a couple things I need to focus on to get into more venues is a couple things. Actually, I wonder if I should save this for behind the scenes. So, let me just tell you really quickly. Over on Patreon, I have changed the platform. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but you're going to see this on Patreon. But this morning, I sent a message out that I'm eliminating my tiers monthly payments because people don't like to use the monthly payments. So I figure that if I do a video I'm instructing something, because Patreon has the tools where you can buy it, so you can purchase it and it's yours, right? That's pretty cool because I could sell it to you for $3 and you get all the detail that I'm talking to you about. You get to see me making it, whatever it is that you're super interested in. And then you have that video for reference. So I really like that. But that to me feels better than asking for a donation. It seriously does. I mean, really, I like that better. So anyway, I'm trying to set that up over there. And so we'll continue to do videos over there too. So anyway, with that said, I thought I would just jump on here today. I wanted to connect with you. I see some of you have bopping in and out today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll be going live. I'm probably, I think at this point, going to go live tomorrow on TikTok. And I need to get reoriented. And because my book is done, by the way. And so now I need to get into the nitty gritty formatting and I just need to tighten up some of the very, very end of it there. And what they call the bibliography, the references and all of that. I need to tighten that up. So, but we're almost there. So with that, I just wanted to share this, share with you how things went. I was overjoyed and feel very energetic and very happy about the whole thing. And again, I encourage you, if you have any kind of event that you can connect to in your neighborhood, even if you jump on Zoom because you're local, you might be able to get some artists to visit you if you're not able to get out. What a wonderful thing that would be to have an artist visit. So anyway, with all that, I hope that you have a beautiful day and I'll see you in the next one.